BBL 851, turn right, heading 180. 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established.
Welcome back to another aviation news recap covering the latest developments within the industry that did not get their own video. There's a bit to cover, so buckle in and stay tuned. And while this is not our main focus, you may have seen recently the An-225 make headlines thanks to some amazing close-up drone footage of the type taken from the chief pilot during a regular flight to Leipzig. The footage is truly incredible and documented in a 12-minute or so YouTube video. You can find it in the description below, but you can see from the screenshots just how beautiful the moment was. It's something I wanted to share for you all. We begin properly though within the United States, where the vast majority of my audience is indeed from, and the significant growth surrounding bookings within the country as they learn to live with the pandemic. According to numbers over the most recent weekend for the 4th of July celebrations, a mammoth week for all Americans saw 2.2 million people fly across the country. That is a huge increase actually on numbers and is in fact the highest it has been since the beginning of the pandemic. A major increase that even airlines are currently struggling to keep up with, as cancellations rock certain airlines, namely that of American Airlines and Southwest, as they face problems with their staffing. I've covered this on another video here on the channel, but the mainline airline essentially did not anticipate demand returning this quickly, and with retirements across the board, and not just in an aircraft sense, but also with regards to their employees, therefore meaning they have a lack of staff, still with the sheer amount of bookings they simply can't keep up. With the 2.2 million passengers carried, this is actually more than that of the same weekend back in 2019. However, there's lots of reasons as to why this would be more, with the difficulty of the pandemic, meaning this is really the first opportunity for a significant period of time that we've seen people have the opportunity to see their loved ones. This is amongst many other reasons as well. However, if one is only going to take a look at these from the numbers and stats point of view, it's a massive positive and something airlines can look to build on as the summer season continues, and also as they look to reactivate basically all their domestic network to how it was before the pandemic arrived. Keeping up with the massive amount of bookings and huge levels of demand overall though is going to be another thing, as the shortages for staffing are now even stretching to Southwest, who have had to cancel a large number of flights over the past weekend due to, well, a lack of staff, and saw a lot of delays as well, as there's a lack of staff in the airports that are simply being overrun and are unable to cope with the massive surge in passengers going through security, checking in, going to the gate, using all the facilities at the airport that have basically been operating at minimal capacity for such a period of time. Sticking within the United States once again, this video is very quickly turning into a US special. We're moving towards United Airlines, who in the past 24 hours or so have announced that they will be actually adding even more flights in anticipation for the higher than ever demand to travel within the country, quite the contrary to what I just discussed. In a press release, they have said that they'll add nearly 150 flights to our quote warmer destinations across the United States, and also to warmer locations in the Caribbean and Mexico. This actually means that they'll be offering more services to these destinations than what they did of back in 2019, signaling once again people's intent to get a break away from the busy lifestyle that we have had for the past year and a half with such a demanding pandemic. United in their press release noted that they know people want to get back in the skies, and they're going to be doing everything in their power to build a network that'll benefit their passengers. An underlying takeaway from the press release was the note that United are, rather than cancelling the majority of their services and seeing huge delays, actually increasing them. They have noted that they also have been preparing for this moment for a considerable period of time, which, if you will, is potentially throwing shade at their competitors, the likes of American Airlines and Southwest, that have on the other hand been having to cancel and delay flights as they have been unable to cope. The Boeing 737 MAX is indeed inching closer to being recertified in China, something I've covered a few times here on the channel after more than 2 years on the ground. There's also been a lot of uncertainty around when the Chinese aviation officials would deem the aircraft to be safe enough for operations to recommence with airlines in the country. Now, if we move back to the later part of last year, that being 2020, we already saw the likes of Brazil, the FAA, and more regulators announce that the type was indeed safe. But taking a look at China, they're still yet to release any information. They believe that the unit is still not ready to fly. However, according to Bloomberg in recent days, they've made note that they are now more than open for flight tests with the 737 MAX to commence, so they can see the changes for themselves and then make an educated decision based off data and experiences on whether or not they'll go about recertifying the aircraft or if they want Boeing to do something else. This is something that for the airlines that are being directly impacted by the grounding within China can simply not come soon enough. Current plans are noted at saying that Boeing will send a team of engineers and also pilots to China in the coming weeks, of course permitting quarantine and entry requirements, where then a thorough testing program will get underway before it can officially be certified. That's going to conclude today's aviation news recap. Feel free to let me know down in the comments section below if you have any thoughts on any of the topics discussed. Once again, thank you very much for your support, and I will see you next time.